Before I begin, will you join me in Gassho, palms together? If one looks far ahead and pays no attention to the ground beneath his eyes, he will stumble. If one gazes critically upon others and forgets to look deeply into oneself, one will ultimately bring tragedy and suffering only to oneself. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation to share the Dharma with each of you on this occasion of the birth of Shinran Shonin. How many years has it been since he was born? Well, you could put up any kind of numbers you want because I've forgotten. And also, I've forgotten because I'm a little tired today because the Warriors won yesterday. And we only have one more game to go before I get to relax for the real onslaught against the Bucks. Warriors against the Bucks. Just remember this. And Warriors will win in 5. Now, I'm a big basketball fan, and that's the level at which I could relate to young people now. I was in the ministry for over 40 years, retired in 2012 from the BCA, and then I was fooling around and still had some energy, so I was invited to serve in Hawaii on Maui, and my wife and I were there for about 2 years, and we came back last year, and we came back, and I'm glad we came back because this year I turned 80 and I'm real tired. Retired, or retread, retired, whatever you want to call it. Anyhow, I still have not some interest, but real interest in the Dharma, not only in my life, but also in all of our lives. And today, we have presented young children, new babies, with the deepest wish, I think, as a parent, to not only walk the path of the Buddha in a formal social way, but in a deeply, deeply spiritual way, that they will become Buddhas themselves and emulate those core values and principles that make Buddhism truly meaningful in our life throughout our life. Not something we learn in Dharma classrooms till we're in high school and we can hardly leave and get out of here, and so we could go on to some other things, we think. But what happens is that everything in our world, everything in our lives has consequences. And how you take each step brings about the next condition for you to live your life. If you want to choose to live it badly, you will end up badly. But if you choose to be close to the truth and try to live with the truth as your guiding principle, then no matter how things may get difficult for you or how things may get easy for you, you can hold your head up high. You could place your hands in Gassho, and you could deeply bow your head with gratitude for this life that you've received, and that you can really live it positively with yourself and with others. Today, we're commemorating Shinran Shonin's birthday, and Shinran Shonin is my hero in many ways because when I was a teenager, I really wanted to be enlightened. And I thought I could be enlightened. I thought I was an all right guy, kid. But I realized as I started growing up that I had a lot of flaws, good flaws. I'm not going to go into detail, of course. I did have a girlfriend at 12 years old. It was platonic, you know. But anyway, I just realized as I was growing older, high school wasn't that, how would you say, clear or great. It was a confusing time. And then college was not less confusing, but even more confusing. And then later when I got married, it got really confusing. And then when I had children, when we had children, I gave up. You know, all I'm saying is that things change. But no matter how things change, no matter what we do with our lives, we have consequences because we are creating our own life every moment, every day. And if you want a scary life down the road, then you better start paying attention, if you don't want a scary life, of how you can make your life better, not during a crisis, but before crisis comes to you. Because invariably, no one chooses to encounter a crisis. But when it comes, how you embrace it, how you chew it, how you deeply reflect on it, and how you move forward with faith makes all the difference in how we are able to live our life, and in that way affirm this long heritage that we call family. I don't know why I'm talking like this today. I saw all of you here, and I think I was supposed to speak to children. No one told me that. But I saw so many adults, but I know that most adults are childlike anyway, you know? And all of you children know that how childlike or childish your parents are. They're not perfect, they love you, but love is not enough. Love is only good if you're aware, if you're truthful, if you are committed to values that will move you deeply and give you meaning. Without it, without a meaningful life, it's like wasting this great karma your mothers and fathers gave you at birth. And to present a child to the Buddha means, "Oh Buddha, I wish to have you take my child into your great wisdom and compassion and root that child deeply in compassion, in wisdom, in kindness, in truthfulness, in honesty, so that my child as a true human being will not have any regrets that he was given or she was given life itself to be lived to its fullest." That's pretty general, and in many ways we do it differently because each of us has our own karma, and each of us has our own circumstances in which we are evolving. But if you pay attention, if you are mindful, today there's a great interest in Buddhism in America, much more than when I was growing up in the 50s in San Francisco. And, you know, it was after the war, started school. I never used to tell my friends in school, elementary school or junior high school, that I was a Buddhist. Because in those days, if you weren't Christian, they thought you were heathens, that we burned people on the stakes, on the stakes, things like that. But I realized over time that being a Buddhist, for me, was the most clear path of becoming who I am, whether it's good in the eyes of others or bad in the eyes of others. But in terms of what I hold dear to my heart, what is important to me, the Dharma truly illuminated my way, and that is for which I'm grateful, truly grateful, and even more so to my parents, who allowed me to walk this path of Dharma over this lifetime. So even though I'm 80 now, I'm trying to redo some of my life so I could make it to at least 100. So I figure I only have 20 more years to go, and I hope I could polish my karma up even better, so that when I end this life, I'll meet the Buddha face to face, head on, and say thank you, thank you. All life is when you truly own your karma. All life, each of your life, when you own your karma and don't point the finger at others first for who you are, what you've done, then gratitude, humility will become a true value in your life. You know this symbol, don't you? Have you ever gotten scolded? How many of you gotten scolded? All right, where's the liars? The liars could stand there. Like this? When you're criticizing someone, it's like this, isn't it? Don't you feel that? You're at home having dinner with the family. How many of you eat with your elbows on the table like this? This is not good or bad, but according to etiquette, that's bad manners. You're sloppy, You're supposed to sit up straight. Enjoy your food. How can you enjoy your food when you're leaning over the table and stuffing your mouth? I don't know what that has to do with anything. Except if some of you eat that way, change. And anyway, you won't be so sloppy, You won't be a sloppy Buddhist. Anyhow, I don't know what I was going to say, but I forgot. That's the beauty of becoming 80. You don't have to make excuses anymore. It's natural. Not dementia yet, but it's natural. So Shinran Shonin, he was not a perfect man, but he believed and trusted in the Buddha's teachings deeply. And he wanted to become real, true. And he wanted to become real and true in terms of having the capacity to be sensitive, to be smart, be reflective, to be strong, to be kind. And he worked hard at it and realized more and more that as he grew older and older, he realized that in order to truly walk the path of Buddha, you can't do it alone. That when you have fellow companions on this journey of Dharma called the Sangha, who also are reflective, deeply kind, deeply affirmative. When you have a Sangha community like that, then there's a sense of harmony so that individually one grows deeply, and together the Sangha grows deeply. If one person is always grumbling, oftentimes that can even disrupt the team. Isn't that right? Like the Warriors? We don't have disruptors. No matter what you think of Draymond Green, he is one of the. No, I don't want to talk about this too much. Yeah. But a disruptor can be like a positive impetus for the team. For example, if this is really a Sangha, and you are each committed to becoming the Buddhas you can become, and you rely on Shinran, who emphasize and encourage each of us to trust in the Dharma, to trust in the Buddha's words and teachings, that all of us have the potential of becoming truly awakened, truly enlightened, and truly beings of compassion and wisdom, then every being should be respected, revered deeply. And that can only come out of each of us if we learn to really look at ourselves, trust ourselves, and then trusting our true worth, be able to trust in others. Trust is a great, great, great energy that we all need in our everyday life. And we call it having faith, trusting in the power of truth to transform our lives and together walk the path of harmony and compassion. So Shinran Shonin, even though he was just an ordinary man as he's often depicted, had the strength of faith deep inside of himself and trusted in the power of Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion as the guiding light in life, out of which he was able to live his total life fully, completely. And I hope each of you, with your children, together as adults, and together as a family of Sangha, that you will support each other, uphold each other, and encourage each other to participate in reflecting on the Dharma, learning the Dharma as a guiding post in your journey in life. So these are some thoughts. I was told to, how long had I spoken? I was told I should just speak about 15 minutes, and I can't do that. So I'm going to stop here, because I think I spoke 17 minutes. You're not supposed to lie like that, you know. So anyhow, I want to say a lot of things, actually, but you have to wait another 20 years till I'm 100. So I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak with you and share this wonderful occasion of Shinran Shonin's birth, so that today all of us can receive the great gift of Namo Amida Butsu as the Dharma heart with which we could live our everyday life meaningfully. So thank you very much. I'd like to close my talk once again with a reading. Will you join me in Gacho? If one looks far ahead, and pays no attention to the ground beneath his eyes, he will stumble. If one gazes critically upon others and forgets to look deeply into oneself, one will only bring tragedy and suffering ultimately to oneself. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Okay, thank you.